thought he battled for his first start. Thought he went out and did some good things. Typical, some things you want to get back. And we watched film this morning. There were some things that he missed, but there was a lot of plays he made as well that I thought kept us in the ball game. And so I was extremely pleased the way he went out and battled. Can't turn the ball over at the end like we did. We got to value the football and take care of it. Got to protect better, but he's got to secure the football better at the end. But besides those last two drives, I thought overall he had a pretty good day.
Quarterback, and he's a starter. How much confidence now do you have in that? Additionally, now that you've seen it out on the field against a defense like Michigan.
Well, I mean, every game obviously puts more confidence in him as well. I mean, I've seen. I kind of know what he can do. I think sometimes it's a matter of the kids believing more so than what I believe, and they believe in themselves. And the more he goes out and he has success and can make plays and do some of the things he did particularly against a highly rated defense like it was, it's got to give him confidence. Gives our team confidence as well. Well, I mean, obviously you want more production out of it, but I also think too it's the way teams are playing you too. There's a reason for it. It's not like we forgot how to run and block. I mean, there's a lot of things, So I just think teams are trying to make you throw the football a little bit more to beat them because it's a numbers game. And last year's a little bit different. We probably broke a few more tackles or maybe had a little bit more splash plays that created some long plays that basically, if you go back and look at the stats, if you take away the long run, you're probably about the same as far as where we're at right now. We've lacked the long burst play that we had last year. And like I said, part of that's due to teams, I think, loading up on the run and saying, hey, you go beat us with the throw.
On that angle route, how committed as a play caller do you have to be when you face Wisconsin this week? Number one in the nation against the run defense, just to stay committed to the run game.
Yeah.
And understand 2 or 3 yards might be a positive play.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've been saying that for the last couple of weeks, to be honest with you, because I think Michigan's defense is as good as anybody's as well. And this one's coming in is, the numbers are putting up phenomenal. So, great challenge ahead of us. We do. I mean, I'm going to be consistent with my approach. Trust. I believe 100% in our system. 100%. I never faulted from that. It's all about execution from our standpoint. We talked to our guys this morning. When we execute, if we can get ourselves to execute for 4 quarters, like we did the second and the third quarter of this last game, then we're going to be smiling. And I think kids are starting to see that a little bit more, particularly when you go up against a team like a brand name like Michigan, who had a good football team, but our kids saw, hey, we can play right with these guys when we play. And I think it gives them a shot in the arm, a boost of arm of confidence. And you got the same type of test coming in this week, maybe even better.
What was the plan with Isaiah and Matt there, and what did you think about how that worked and how Isaiah?
Yeah, I wanted to get both of them. I wanted to play both. Obviously, we knew we was going to start Matt. Matt's further along at the point right now in terms of everything. He's a year older. It makes sense. But Isaiah is such a talent. We want to make sure we keep getting him reps, getting him ready. And I wanted to play him. And Isaiah got a little banged up and couldn't go the rest of the game. So Matt went the rest of the way with it.
You said after the game that Matt kind of brought a weird juice to the offense. Is that something you noticed too?
A weird juice?
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Matt's a little bit different mentality-wise as far as personality. Maybe that's what they're talking about. I don't know. He's kind of a reserved, quiet guy, kind of like Brandon a little bit. But he's a confident kid, and he knows what we're doing. He just, like I said, I think the biggest thing for him is to continue to keep getting reps and keep learning. And I think Matt has a chance to be a pretty good player before it's all said and done.
That injury, and then Casey Washington comes in. What interests you about him, and what do you think his role could be moving forward?
Well, I've been high on Casey, since he's gotten here. Casey's biggest thing is make sure he knows where to go and when to go is the biggest thing with him. Catching the ball, running routes, all the physical attributes that you'll want, he's got. And I think Casey Washington is going to be a tremendous wide receiver before his time's done here. But I was talking on the phone with Coach Stoker. He said, what do you think about Casey? I said, absolutely, get his butt in there. Let's roll. What are we waiting on? Get him in, let's play him, That's the only way you learn. So he went in, thought he did a really good job, made a nice catch. He could have had a couple more catches. Matt missed him a couple times, and probably for some big ones. We watched film this morning, but I'm excited about Casey and his future.
Do you anticipate seeing more with us this season in the back half here?
You'll see more of what you've been seeing him.
Rod, is the idea with Isaiah kind of trying to get him in situations like this to prepare him for the future? And we've been playing 2 games now as opposed to redshirting him this year.
I didn't quite understand your question. What did you say again?
With him playing in 2 games now, and you talking about how you want to continue to use him and get him in situations like that, you're not really thinking about a red shirt, are you?
When you think about winning a game, that's the first thing. And if he can help us win the game, then he'll play. And he's been told that. And he understands that. And he wants that. As we move forward, where are we at? How well are we playing at the quarterback position? It will be, and how much do we need him in order to win? We'll probably determine whether we play him more than 4 games or not. But the ultimate goal, like I told him, is to win. So if that means we got to play him in 6 to win, and that gets us to where we want, that he's going to play if he's a factor in us winning and losing.
How's he dealt with just, a rise prospect, high prospect, but not maybe setting the world on fire right away like he had hoped? Like the injury setbacks, how was he kind of handling?
Well, I mean, I think he's, the injury part's probably the most frustrating part to him. I think he understands there's an adjustment period. I think people, you guys, kind of put him up on a pedestal, all these guys, before they take a snap in college football. And it's really not fair to those guys. But because they got to come in, they got to prove it. I mean, it's you're playing against a whole different level type of talent than what you play in high school. Some kids adjust fast. Some kids, but at the quarterback position, it takes time. It don't magically flip a switch and the guy comes in, he's like he was in high school. There's an adjustment period. So I think Isaiah understands that. He knows that. He knows he's got to get better at certain things. There's certain things he's got to be able to do more consistently. At the same time, there's enough talent there that he can make a difference in a football game. And that's why you got to make sure you get him ready. You get him reps, valuable reps. So when that time's and notices, when you call upon him, he's ready to go, hopefully.
How much did you open up the playbook against Michigan, or maybe just tap into some of the stuff that you were able to do last year?
Well, I mean, I don't say we did anything different. We just executed. We executed a little bit better in the second and third quarter. A lot of the same stuff was still called. It's a matter of the quarterback seeing it and making the right reads and stuff like that, or us blocking it correctly up front. Now, there might be some things we changed up because Michigan came out and played a little bit of odd stack, which they haven't shown hardly at all. So we had to make some adjustments to that. That kind of hurt us a little bit early on because we didn't prepare for that. We prepared for a lot of 4 down, some 3 down that they do, but the odd stack was a little bit different, a little wrinkle, so we had to kind of adjust on the run. They did very, very little of that in the past, very little. So I was shocked to kind of see as much of that early on. But, we probably did a couple things new, but at the same time, we'll continue to that's the game planning. That's basically done every week based upon how a defense plays you and what you try to exploit from those guys.
Remember when we saw Bebe that first couple of days of training camp, and he looked kind of stiff,
Yeah.
kind of slow, and just kind of out of sync? Like, are you surprised with how well he's played through 6 games?
No, because I think it's, once again, it goes back to them getting their footing. I think he's starting to gel with us a little bit. He's starting to get comfortable. It's one thing that I always tell the quarterbacks this, and it goes for every position. It's one thing to know the offense. It's another thing to own it. Meaning, if I got to think, it's going to slow me down. If you call a play and I react, then I'm not thinking. It ain't going to slow down my feet. It ain't going to slow down my technique. Bebe was really thinking early on, trying to figure out where do I go. I run this route. I stick on this step. Now it's a little bit more fluid, and I think he's a lot more natural, per se, than he is now.
Guys, we got some players back here if you want to get with them. We'll wrap it up with Rod here in another question or 2.
What's that? Man, that's awesome, huh? Kidding me? I mean, what an opportunity for our student athletes, for this university. I mean, to me, I had no clue. I was shocked. They brought us in at 9:15 meeting this morning and threw the film up there about all the games played in Ireland. So I think it's what an opportunity, tremendous opportunity for our student athletes in this university.
Richie had some big shoes to fill. Fair or unfair replacing Nick Allegretti, but how do you feel like he's done at the halfway point?
I thought he's been very solid, very good for us. He did a good job. Yeah, he had a monster of a task this past week. He'll have a monster of a task this week coming up as well. But overall, I think he did pretty well with us.
What's been one key to the success you've seen from him
He's just been consistent. You know, he's very technique sound. He's not going to out athlete anybody, but he's very sound. He gets his hat in place in the right spot. You know, he does what Coach McLean asked him to do. And he's, you know, once again, he's been very solid. He's very cerebral, very smart, understands defenses. So he gets us in some calls as well, which has been huge for us, to be honest with you.
I think a lot of people were surprised with the Chase Brown news right before kickoff.
Yeah.
How happy are you to have a little more running back depth with him, and what does he add?
Well, it's good because, you know, obviously he was a really good tailback. We didn't plan on having him, to be honest with you. We just figured he's going to get declared ineligible and he'd be on scout team for. So really, he really hasn't been doing any of our offense reps per se in teams. Now, what he can do to help us immediately is kickoff return and the special teams. So he could definitely get in that. It's going to take a little bit for him to get adjusted up to speed with us, but it does give us another back. Coach Bellamy will try to get him up to speed a little bit, and hopefully he can help us before the season's over.
I'm sure you don't have a timeline, but do you have somewhere where you'd like to see him a little more involved?
Don't have a timeline. Just to me, it depends on how fast he can grasp things, how well he can, you know, absorb it and know what his responsibilities are and be able to execute.